How to cope with mismatched sex drives. Now, I talk about this a lot, so I'm not going to put every possible answer in here, but I have my notes, as that's what I do. I look down, you know that I do that. But my first thought on this video is, how do you respond to rejection? I talk a lot about emotional and physical personalities, but that idea of how we respond to rejection gives us a clue of what our sexual personality might be like. So if somebody is a physical, they tend to respond to rejection by coming forward, trying harder, making it work more, wanting to talk about things. If they're initiating sex and they get turned down, they're going to initiate it more and more and more because they got turned down. It becomes a bigger issue. They try more, they put more emotion into it. And then if an emotional, let's say in this case, is turned down for sex, they back off. They respond to rejection by moving away, taking a break. They don't want to talk about it. They want alone time. If they were the one initiating sex or sexy time, they might not only back off, but they might back off for a long time. They may never initiate again. So one way that I would say to cope is do the opposite. So if you usually come forward, let's say you're probably a physical, you come forward like, oh, I'm gonna initiate more and more and more. Don't initiate it all for a while. Now you're gonna think, oh, well, I've gone a day and I didn't initiate it. Give it a couple of days, give it a week, give it some time. Let the emotional, the one who responds to rejection by backing off, let them come forward. But you have to give them room to come forward, time to come forward. They want to come forward, but you have to give them the opportunity so that they feel comfortable and not pressured to do so. So what other things? Realize that it's more about creating intimacy and connection. This idea of having sex or sexy time. It's not about performing. It's not a performance. Just being close to someone. It's connecting to someone, and you happen to be mostly or partly or totally naked in some way, right? You're vulnerable, but it's about connecting to them. And the idea of mismatched sex drives, or they're not, lining up perfectly, is totally normal, totally common, and it does fluctuate. So sometimes you're in sync, sometimes you're not in sync. The idea of compromise comes into play. So if you were the one that wants sex a lot or more than your partner, maybe pull it back a little bit for a while. Instead of every day or whatever you want to have, like 3 times a week, 5, whatever it is for you, maybe 1 time a week, whatever it is, pull back a little bit. And if you were like, I just have no interest in sex, figure out what you do have interest in sexually, and maybe do that once in a while. So you come forward and initiate and do a few things, and we suggest we could do this or do that. So I call it the George Costanza approach. You ever watch Seinfeld? He's like, if I just do the opposite of what I normally do, yeah, in this respect, do the opposite of how you usually respond to rejection. Do that opposite for a while. The idea of masturbating. So if you want sex more often, but you're not getting it, there are ways to sort of get rid of that tension, to satisfy yourself. You could do it alone, obviously. You could do it together. So maybe you don't want to do the entire sex act or whatever, but maybe masturbating with each other or watching the other person do it. That's okay too. Obviously, address any potential medical issues. Go to your physician if all of a sudden you are really interested and now you're not, especially if you're a physical and you're no longer interested. Go talk to your physician. This is a very common thing. And then lastly, at least on this video, is schedule it. Put it in your schedules. Make a sexy time date. Even if it's, again, just holding each other naked, whatever it is, just designate a time to be together romantically. Put it in your schedules, especially for the emotional partner as opposed to the physical partner. Put it in your schedule and stick to it. Be open and willing to do something that's sexual on that sexy time date night. So hope that helped. Leave messages, DM me, and I'll make more videos on this topic anyway, because that's the topic. And I will see you on that next video.